Today we wanted to finally make a video comparing the three main models for a single child in the Bugaboo range. This is the Bugaboo Cameleon, it's the third generation. This is the brand new Bugaboo Fox, and this is the Bugaboo Buffalo, which sadly has been discontinued. Before you get into looking at these three strollers and judging them according to some kind of beauty contest standards, I want to make a note that the central one, the Bugaboo Fox, is brand new, and the other two are pre-loved. So don't just look at it and go, it's shinier and blacker and I want that one. Okay, starting with the Bugaboo Cameleon 3, this is the latest generation of the Cameleon. It is the kind of the original Bugaboo stroller. There are, I think, there was like the frog and the gecko and so on. I don't know how they came out in relation to the earliest Cameleons, but it is being kept as the flagship sort of classic Bugaboo design. There have been improvements made over the various generations, and it is more solid than the last two. But we still get problems, in particular with the central mechanism on this stroller, and we've had that for every generation in one way or another. So they're changing out dimensions and so on, but essentially the parts inside still break as a result of weight, and yeah, you have to be careful if you want to use this stroller. It's the lightest. It clocks in at 9.6 kilos. While the next lightest, the Fox, clocks in at 9.9. And I would recommend this stroller to you if you really like Bugaboo and you want something that's very lightweight. You do not plan on hanging heavy stuff from it. You're not the person who's going to have a kid and go out and do a bunch of shopping and just stick all the weight on the handle. You also want to be living in a very urban environment, such that you're using this on flat terrain mostly while shopping and so on. It's not going to be as successful out off-road, or if you have a lot of snow in your area, even with the terrain tires that they put on it. That does help a little bit, but if you're planning on using a stroller in terrain, you should really go for one of the other two models. Or, to be honest, Bugaboo Cameleon, because it's been so iconic and it has certain things that people like, the two swivel front wheels, kind of a lightweight design, the seat that can go forwards and backwards. There have been a lot of other companies that have done similar things. I don't have any specific models that I would recommend to you now, but if that is what you're after with the stroller, you might want to look around, read some product comparisons and so on. Okay, so that's the Cameleon 3. I'm going to move on to the Bugaboo Fox, which is the newest, and which supposedly was supposed to replace the Buffalo. We just did a big video on 3 things that we dislike about this model. So if you want to, a lot of that has to do with this as a replacement for the Bugaboo Buffalo, which we loved. But looking at it on its own in relation to what's left, which is the Bugaboo Fox and the Bugaboo Cameleon, I would say that this is a much sturdier model. What they have done is taken a lot, not all, but a lot of the aspects of the Bugaboo Buffalo and made them a lot lighter. So that it's really, as I said, it's 9.9 versus 9.6. It's almost as light as the Bugaboo Cameleon. And it's a lot sturdier. So if I were going to choose between the Cameleon or the Fox, I would go for the Fox. They have added a few kind of fancy designs on it. I felt somewhat unnecessary. That is the brakes on off sort of thing, and the 2 ways of folding the stroller, being here or at the central point if you want to leave your seat on when you fold it down. So I don't know, if you like all those fancy functions, then that's kind of nifty. In general though, again, this I think is the best single child stroller on the market currently for Bugaboo. The donkey in the mono form is nice, but the seat is narrower, and that means that you're really, if you're thinking about it for a single child, you're not going to be able to use it as long as you would this stroller. Okay, now moving on to our favorite, which is the Bugaboo Buffalo, which has been discontinued. This weighs 12.3 kilos, so it's heavier than the others, and that is one of the things we actually like about it. This was a dedicated terrain stroller. It is a dedicated terrain stroller. It has larger wheels, it has a heavier chassis, and that heavier feel is going to allow you to move through snow and over terrain a lot better. The design of it in general is meant to be more or less the same as the donkey. They share a lot of similar parts. You can even swap over the arms with a little bit of alteration. They're a little bit longer here, but if you think about that, so the donkey chassis is meant to take 2 children plus a lot of weight, and they've taken a lot of the same elements then from that and they've made a single chassis. So that means it's probably like made to withstand weight over what they might even specify I haven't actually done the checking on that, but I would guess, given that the mechanisms are more or less the same as a donkey, this thing is made very, very sturdy. And you're going to be able to use this for all of your needs. So if you live in an area where you're not going to be throwing it in the car a lot, you're not going to have to think too much about the size, you can get this thing small enough for most cars, unless you're driving like in a Buddy or something like that, you know? It's going to be able to fit in anyway. But if you tend to use the stroller outside, you live in an area where you want to go to parks, you also want to use it in town and stuff, it's fine for shopping as well. It has those front swivel wheels that can be very smooth. Then this is really the stroller. And I think in terms of longevity, it's definitely the stroller. The number one issue that comes into me with this stroller is that these struts have broken. And they don't break because of anything wrong with production. It happens when people go on planes and the baggage handlers accidentally break that. That's like it. There are very few other issues that ever come in with this model. It's incredibly solid. Just a note on weight in general, 12.3, it's not that bad. And there's this obsession in our culture about making everything lightweight, and I think it's really bad. Just look at like the computer industry. You buy laptops now for like under a kilo, and the plastic is so thin, you put your coffee cup next to it on the table, and the like plastic cracks, you know? So there's nothing wrong with a little bit of weight. To be honest, when they update strollers and they're trying to reduce the weight, I'd almost rather see a kilo extra in the next generation of something and have them say, we use that extra kilo in order to strengthen all of the joints, all of the areas that we thought were weak from testing over time. Now that the product has been on the market for a while, there's an extra kilo, it's all in the structure, so now it's more solid. So anyway, it's a little bit of a rant. We love the Bugaboo Buffalo. We really hope they bring it back. If they do bring it back, I'd love to see runner central mechanisms. We'd love to see the Bugaboo Fox handle without this joint here. We'd love to see Cameleon tires. Just notes in case somebody from Bugaboo's watching. But in any case, those are the three strollers currently on the line for Bugaboo, other than the donkey and the bee, which kind of have other use values. So we hope this video has been helpful. If it has, we ask you to subscribe, as it helps us to continue making videos in the future.